backgrounds to make sure that we can share the memories and the values that shape us and keep our histories alive. Kaylee, wow, let's give her another round of applause. What a beautiful performance, thank you. And Mayor Johnson, thank you and your family for the warm welcome and for all that you do for this wonderful city. It's so wonderful to be here and to salute his service. So on behalf of my husband, President Biden, thank you to all the incredible educators. Where are you, educators? Police officers, service members, and their families. Thank you for everything you do for our nation. So buonasera. I am so proud to be Italian American and to celebrate our heritage together. One of my favorite memories is from my childhood is that warm smell of Italian bread toast. Remember that? That burnt smell from the toaster that used to always wake me up at my grandparents' house. And I love the ribbons of homemade pasta hanging in the kitchen, or the fresh tomatoes and herbs from the garden spread out on the kitchen counter on those days that my grandma made homemade sauce. And I'll never forget running through Our Lady of Carmel Italian Festival with my sisters, or how I was charmed by the musical way my grandma cursed at my grandpa in Italian. Yes, when he would bring home, the rockfish and leave them on the counters, and she would be, Tommy, who do you think's gonna clean these fish? So being with you this evening brings back such beautiful memories for me. Thank you for honoring me with an invitation to join you. To visit Ellis Island, to walk on that little piece of land where my great-grandparents first stepped onto the United States, where they took their first strides into their new lives, far from everyone and everything they had ever known. And as I walked that same great hall that they did, with this soaring arch ceiling and half-moon windows that let the sunlight stream in, shining off the red brick floors, it was hard not to imagine how our ancestors must have felt, chasing the hope of this country's unlimited promise. I had known that my family passed through the island, but I was surprised to find their records there. The story that they left behind in black and white, a story that has just gone on to tell my family's story. And in the loops and the swirls of their handwriting, I watched as their ages shifted and reformed, dates adjusting to fit the story, and as they signed their names to begin a new life here in America. Names
Dr.
that transform.
Talking about cute stuff about your parents, about your heritage. Genocide going Your husband just sent $16 billion.
Sit down, shut up.
It is a crime.
Excuse me. Thank you.
Get out of here.
Oh,
You know, I must say, even though it's a little disturbing, you know, thank God we live in a democracy. So even though my grandparents' names had changed, they brought their values across the Atlantic and they stayed the same. The values that we all hold: loyalty, generosity, kindness, faith. And I brought my Italian values with me to the White House. And it is the absolute honor to serve as the first Italian-American First Lady. Thank you. Thank you.
Four more years. 4 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 more years.
Our ancestors' values live on in each of us. They breathe and they beat inside of us. In every artist and dreamer who pushes us beyond our limits of our imaginations. In every advocate and lawyer fighting injustice. In every business owner who welcomes customers with the warmth of home. In the children and the grandchildren and the great-grandchildren who put their shoulders back and find their courage, even when they're most afraid. My husband, President Biden,
Bombs are
is
dropping in
working
Gaza!
Four more years. 4 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 more years.
My husband, President Biden, is working to build on what this community has accomplished and help us and all communities keep reaching for that bright future our ancestors were searching for. That's why he's growing the economy from the middle out and the bottom up so that families can carve out a good life. Because everyone deserves a chance. It's why we work so hard. We can talk, you don't have to shout at me. We can only get things accomplished when we talk. It's why we work so hard to pass on our ancestors' values to our children, isn't it? So that they too can draw during these hard days, so that they can work and make their own way. Generation after generation, we've woven our art and our music and our stories and our culture so deeply into the fabric of this country that the dividing lines blur. A piece of our homeland in our home. by Italian immigrants. And of course, this festival, which for over 40 years has brought together Italian Americans,